So we are here for Weekend Wellbeing with the wonderful Karen Ferguson from the Maven Club. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Nathan. How are you doing?
Not too bad, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Just off the back of last weekend, what I'm loving about these slots is that it's actually really helping my well-being because I'm kind of having to make sure that I practice what I preach. So um, I have a little confession though, because last Friday I did my half-hour challenge, but I did actually spend money. So I went off and had a 30-minute massage, which was incredible. I actually had it on Friday afternoon, kind of Friday lunchtime. I just was like, I'm not actually very good at taking lunch breaks and that type of thing. So I was like, I'm going to do this. And it was such a great investment in my well-being, just giving myself that time. So I am normally a big fan of promoting low cost, no cost, but on this occasion and every so often, it is quite nice just to treat yourself. So I really enjoyed that. Did you manage to do anything for a 30-minute challenge?
Well, I went for a run. Does that count?
I think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
A
Did
nice
you?
run in some beautiful countryside. It was, I guess, about half an hour,
Mhm.
but it was very enjoyable. I went with my brother, and we do that most Saturdays actually. So,
Nice. Fantastic. It's all about getting it into the routine, isn't it?
mm,
And making it a priority to do it. So
I suppose it gets easier if you can make a habit of this half an hour of well-being.
very much so. Very
Yeah.
much so. So we're going to advocate that, but you don't have to spend money as you've demonstrated.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what is our mental health well-being focal point for this week?
So, what we're actually going to do is over the next 5 weeks, we are going to work our way through the NHS 5 steps to mental well-being. And I want us to do that because each of them have so much to offer in them, in and about themselves, each step. They work beautifully together, but it's really good just to focus in and think about each of the steps. Now, you may or may not be aware how this came about, but it's one of those resources that I just think we are so fortunate to have access to. And I think as well, if you just to use a search engine and type in NHS 5 steps to mental well-being, it will pop up the link very easily and it's really clearly laid out. I'm going to read from it each week for the next 5 weeks so that we can kind of hear the simplicity of what they're suggesting. Um, but it actually came about, it was probably almost 2 decades ago that there was a piece of work done by the Government Office for Science, and they commissioned Foresight, which was the UK government's futures think tank. Now, they were talking about what's going to happen in the next 20 years, and we've kind of now almost worked our way through that 20 years. But their piece of research spoke to lots and lots of people across the world, leading experts. We had neuroscientists and psychologists and those in social sciences and those in economics. And they did this huge piece of research, which was talking about mental capital and well-being. If you're like me, I find it a fascinating read. So again, you can go on a search engine and you can put in mental capital and well-being. And the summary document is 52 pages, but it's really great. It's very worth reading, and I'd encourage it. I'm just going to quickly read to you from their executive summary what the aims and the ambitions of the project were. And it says, a key message is that if we are to prosper and thrive in our changing society and in an increasingly interconnected and competitive world, both our mental and material resources will be vital. Encouraging and enabling everyone to realise their potential throughout their lives will be crucial for our future prosperity and well-being. So that was their aim of the project. And like I say, go read this fascinating thing or just read the executive summary. But one of the things that came off the back of that was the NHS 5 steps to wellbeing. And I just love the accessibility of those. So the first step is connect with others. And if you were to look on their website, what it says is good relationships are important for your mental well-being. They can help you build a sense of belonging and self-worth, give you an opportunity to share positive experiences, provide emotional supports, and allow you to support others. And there are lots of things you can try to do that. And there's suggestions on there. There's do's and there's even some don'ts around that. As you know, Nathan, I love people. I love connecting, and I love connecting people to each other. But I think that there's something really important to take from this value of this being good for our well-being, and that is the in-person connection, because we do live in a time where we're possibly more connected than we have ever been, but sometimes through very superficial means. And so it's really important that we have that deeper sense of connection, that sense of belonging and value and worth that comes with some in-person connection. And I think one of the reasons that that's important is also because when we communicate, it's only about 7% that happens through our words. So much of it is through our body language and our tone of voice. And when you're in the same room as somebody, when you're connecting in a physical presence with them, there's so much more going on that helps you to understand what's happening, and it helps that communication to flow. So this weekend, I really want us to think about the power of connecting. And it's all about connecting with people that are good for you. And that might sound a bit harsh, but, you know, there are people that sometimes that can just sort of drain us, and it's not so good for our well-being. So with being intentional this weekend, think about people that are good for you, that you might be able to connect with. And that might be as simple as having a drink together, or eating a meal together, or switching off the TV and having a conversation. But who might there be that you could have a positive connection with? Somebody that when you see them, your face lights up, they light up the room, and it's good for you. So the challenge this week is to think about who can you connect with this weekend that is good for you, and what might that look like? So just 3 simple W's. Who is it? When can you do it? And where can you do it? Because the best way of connecting will be in person. Now, I know for some that may not be possible. And if that isn't, then at least use a platform like we're using, where you can get that sense of you're still seeing somebody and you're connecting. But that genuine connection is so good for us. And it really does help to maintain our healthy well-being. So that's the challenge for this weekend.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Karen. They're absolutely right. The importance of connecting with other people, it is often overlooked, perhaps. And in this world, we feel as though we are perhaps connected because we can easily see the news, or we can easily text people, but it's not quite the same thing. And we lose some of, like you say, that personability, that physical connection, because you're actually in the same room. You can see them with your own 2 eyes rather than through a screen.
Mm-hmm. It's fantastic, isn't it? So think about who you're going to connect with this week, and that will be great to hear more from your listeners about what they've done, how they've been intentional about thinking about who, when, and where they can connect.
Who, when, and where to connect with other people. Thank you so much, Karen. It's been a privilege, and I'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
Pure Media, the magazine, is hand perfected with some of the finest writers from around the world that we could find, and yes, Andy B too. New editions are released just for you on the first Friday of every month, from our family to your family. Pure Media, the magazine, is available now. Sign up for free at puremediafamily.com/magazine.